Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We all want to protect civil liberties and privacy. When somebody's in the public domain, as I understood in law school, there's no expectation of privacy. This technology, in my judgment, has really protected the nation from drug smugglers, gang members, and potential terrorists. I introduced the BITMAP bill, which is a biometric transnational migration alert program. Last Congress, it passed unanimously out of this committee. It passed on the House floor 272 to 119, and now it's being held up. I'd like to examine what the effect of not authorizing this program would have. Mr. Wagner, can you tell me what successes the BITMAP program has had, and particularly when it comes to individuals coming from other parts of the world that are known, they're basically countries of special interest aliens, or KSTs, known as suspected terrorists, coming across into this hemisphere up through Latin America into the United States of America?
Sure. So the BITMAP program, it's administered by ICE. It's a program they work with their foreign counterparts to utilize fingerprint technology to take fingerprints of exactly those populations you just referenced as they transit through certain countries in Central or South America, making their way on up through Mexico to the U.S. So if they show up in a Central American country, the foreign authorities will use the BITMAP program to collect the passport information and their fingerprints. When that person ultimately shows up at our southwest border and has mysteriously lost their passport, we're able to take their fingerprints and match it back up with that previous encounter in Central America to sufficiently identify who that person is. And this is the passport they had at that point.
And is it true that through that journey that while the names and identities may change,
sure,
their biometrics do not change?
Correct.
And that's the best way to identify who this person really is?
Correct.
Can you, in this setting, and I don't know if that's possible, give us some indication of the numbers of special interest aliens that have been stopped in this program, and also known or suspected terrorists?
I have to get back to you on that. I don't have any today.
How significant is it?
It's significant. I mean, it's an absolute vulnerability that, as we've seen, terrorists can exploit, and it's a vulnerability we need to address.
Dr. Romney, I guess from what I'm hearing from you is that we don't want to get this wrong. I think Ms. Watson-Coleman was talking about herself being possibly in this pool of candidates that could get somehow mischaracterized. I mean, tell us, where are we right now with the technology?
I guess
how accurate is it?
How accurate is it? Oh, I see. The very best algorithms that we've tested the most recently have false negative rates that are extremely low. The accuracy can range for the best algorithms in a one-to-many match can range into the 99.7 range.
So 99.7% accuracy.
Accuracy. Yes.
That's pretty good.
I beg your pardon?
That's a pretty good number.
It's, from a scientific standpoint, we report the number. The judgment on what is a pretty good number is up to the policymakers, but it's a high number for me.
It's very high. You're a scientist, I'm not, but it sounds pretty high to me. I think it's always a balance in this committee, and when we deal with security issues, we deal with privacy and civil liberties, we always have to balance these as Americans, and I think it's important that we balance those factors, but I wouldn't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I think the BITMAP program has been extremely successful, has stopped a lot of bad actors from coming into the United States. And Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member, I hope that this committee, we could still advance that authorization and that bill through this Congress, because I do think it's important to protect the American people. It's one of the most important responsibilities that we have as members of Congress. With that, I yield back.